Hi, everybody. It's Will Burns, Director of Early College Programs here at Fort Hays State University, which does include the Kansas Academy of Mathematics and Science. And that's who I really wanted to visit with, are our KAMS students. I thought it was important to take a few minutes to just record a quick video about our plans. Of course, we don't have all the details quite yet, but we will be giving you more detailed information as the weeks progress and as we get closer to the start of the school year. But thought it was important to reach out to our incoming juniors and, of course, our returning seniors, and just very excited to have everybody back on campus this coming fall semester. Let me go ahead and I'm gonna turn my webcam off here so that you can see the full slides. But I think most of you probably received reopening plan details in an email that came from the university just this past Friday. Gosh, today is Tuesday, June 23rd. So hopefully you had a chance to read over some of those plans. Again, we haven't worked through all the details, but I feel like we've got a really good framework of how we're going to start the fall semester and some accommodations we're making, different safety measures that we're going to be taking. And so with this quick little video presentation, I thought I would just provide you an overview of a few of my thoughts, a few things from our department that are very KAMS specific for our students, and of course talking a little bit about the academic plans, the residential plans for the university as a whole. And so please know that our number one priority, and I think all of you know this, or at least I hope you know this, and if you don't feel this, it's our goal that after the first few weeks, especially of having your student here on campus, that you really feel and get a sense that our staff, our KAMS staff, is just truly committed to the safety and health of all of our students. Student commitment, student success, student health, and overall well-being are just top priorities for us, and I hope you do get a sense of that. We know you have concerns, and we understand your concerns. Who would have ever thought, especially for you parents that are listening, that you would be sending your 16, 17, 18-year-old onto a college campus during a pandemic. And so we know there are concerns, and we want to help answer any questions you have. We want to help ease your concerns. Obviously, we can never guarantee complete student safety and health, but we're going to try our hardest and work our hardest to make sure that students are safe and students are healthy while they're here on our campus. The other thing I want to point out is just we really appreciate your patience. We know that you want answers just as we do. We want clarity on how we're going to be moving forward, but just know we appreciate your patience. We know details take a little while to iron out, and I know we're going to be, over the next few weeks, continuing to work on things. So please just know we appreciate you being patient with us. And then lastly, we really want you to ask questions. I know after that email went out from Abby yesterday, it would have been Monday, June 22nd, to our Kansans, our new Kansans. We want you to ask questions. We had some great questions from parents and from students about this fall, and hopefully I'll address a few of those questions or concerns in this video presentation. But if this spurs on more questions, that's great. Please contact us. Let us know. We want to communicate with you. We want you to feel comfortable. Students, we want you to feel comfortable starting here in the fall. Parents, we want you to feel comfortable sending your student here. And so please ask questions. Of course, I mentioned this video presentation. Really, I created it just to address some of the concerns about academic plans, and to maybe give a little more in-depth details about my perspective for the academic plans that were sent out by the university, also the residential life plans. And of course, there was some information from the university that obviously was not specific to KAMS and the safety measures we're taking. So I thought I would use this opportunity to talk a little bit about, what our plan is and some things that we are doing and some safety measures that we are taking to just help decrease that risk for our students. as far as the academic plans, this would have come from the email that Abby sent out and that you also probably should have received from the university. Like those emails said, classes are set to begin Monday, August 17th, so we have not changed like our start date at all. We will be starting Monday, August 17th. That obviously will affect our orientation a little bit. We'll try to work through that with you, and we'll be updating you on our orientation, and I'm actually going to address orientation here in just a few minutes. But classes are set to begin on Monday, August 17th. There are going to be 3 types of courses that students will be able to participate in and take this fall semester. And there's 3 different, I guess, what I would call kind of taglines for each of those classes. And so the first one is total on-campus or TOC classes. These are really courses that cannot be delivered even partially online. Like nothing can be done online. Students, just have to be in the classroom or in the lab to actually achieve their learning outcomes through the professor's teaching. And so these are 8-week courses. They will be ending October 9th. I can tell you that not a lot of our students will be in those TOC classes. Our students, after talking with the provost here at the university, our students will primarily, the classes they will be taking will be hybrid classes, which in my eyes are still considered on campus, right? They are 16-week courses. And from my perspective, they are still on-campus classes, but they're adjusted a little bit. There's going to be a mix of in-person class or lab time with your professor, and then there's going to be supplemented online lectures, online teaching that accompanies some of that class time and lab time. And of course, the class and lab time, it's going to be a little bit different. To me, and again, this is my interpretation of it. I know our professors are working diligently to come up with some different plans for their classes. But to me, my interpretation is, for example, if a student has a Monday, Wednesday, Friday class, maybe there's 8 to 10 students in that class that meet with the professor on Monday. And then a different set of 8 to 10 students meet with the professor on Wednesday. And then a third group of 8 to 10 students, a different group, meets with that professor on a Friday. And so there'll be a rotation of smaller groups of students, so you're still getting that individual instruction, individual attention that Fort Hays and that KAMS is really known for. But that will be taking place for all 16 weeks here on campus. And so again, in my eyes, this is still an on-campus class, those hybrid classes. And then the third course delivery type is TOL, which stands for Total Online Classes. Those again are 16-week courses. They are completely taught online, so nothing here on campus really will be taking place. Really, from what my understanding and talking with our provost here at the university, our KAMS students really are probably not in many of these, if at all. And I think that's probably a good thing. Most of our students really benefit a lot from obviously being in the classroom, and I think the hybrid mix of classes is really going to be a great way for our students to still experience KAMS and experience our great professors and research opportunities that come along with this program. And so I think that is really the best way to approach it for our program. Like I said, KAMS students primarily going to be in hybrid courses. It is really going to be probably rare that our students would have TOC or TOL courses on their schedule. I know your advisors, Sherry Matlock and Jody Hill, they are going to be working diligently to communicate, courses with you. We're going to be working diligently to make sure you all understand as students which tagline, I guess, your class is, so that you know what type of class delivery you're going to be experiencing this fall. And like I mentioned, the provost has visited with us, and she has said most of our classes are going to be on-campus hybrid classes. Okay, so residential life plans, I'm not going to go into great detail about this because I know Residential Life did a good job of kind of drafting up an email and some key points, but just please know students are still going to have a choice to live with selected roommates whenever possible. They may need to adjust some things as far as room assignments due to the number of students using community restrooms. That's a big thing that they've looked at, wanting to make sure those restrooms are cleaned and disinfected on a regular basis. They talk a little bit about furniture and moving that around within individual rooms to make sure that beds are approximately 6 feet apart, which of course is the recommended social distancing guideline. Move-in dates, and again, we're going to give you information about this as soon as we know a little bit more about what move-in is going to look like. But move-in dates and the processes that we have typically used in the past, those are more than likely going to be modified a little bit just to reduce the number of people who are in and out of the building. And so we'll update you on that as soon as we have a little more information. Res Life, they are going to notify students a little bit later in June just regarding roommate assignments or potential changes that may occur. And then throughout the summer, students will be receiving information about updated terms and policies and what to expect really when you come on campus in a residence hall. And we are even, as our KAMS staff, we are even going to be doing some pre-recorded videos for orientation and pre-recorded videos to talk about kind of our office expectations. We may even showcase our office a little bit because we have made some changes due to, considering the safety protocol, safety measures that the CDC, KDHE, the university have come out with. And so we're moving some things in our office a little bit to accommodate for that. And of course, if you do have questions about residential life plans or questions about the academic plans, I think this is going to be a common theme that you hear from our staff. If you have questions or concerns, please communicate with us. We don't want you to leave you in the dark. We want you to feel comfortable about things, and so please let us know if you do have questions, especially about residential life. We can connect you with our hall director, who then will visit more with her boss over in residential life, and we can try to accommodate you the best we can, okay? As far as dining with residential life plans, so with dining, McMidas Cafeteria, they're going to modify operations, and you're going to receive some of those detailed operations a little bit later this summer. They are going to make some modifications to their seating options over in the cafe just to allow for social distancing, and again, you'll be receiving some more information about those plans hopefully in the near future. So I want to talk a little bit about our specific plans that we are taking to, just hopefully help keep students safe and healthy during this pandemic, and living and studying here on campus. So there's some special things that we're going to be doing. Of course, social distancing will be taking place with all of our staff members within our office. The second one here, the second bullet, by appointment only. That honestly is probably going to be the most difficult thing for us, but we're going to aim for that. So when students want to maybe visit with their advisor, visit with me, we're so used to having students pop in, and we love that. We have students in and out of our office all the time, and so that's going to be the most difficult part for us, I think, as staff members, to not be able to maybe do that all the time this coming fall. And again, it's just a safety measure that we're putting in place. And so students, if you need to meet with somebody, my suggestion would be to shoot somebody an email. Of course, you could always call the office if you want to. Email's probably the easiest way to set up an appointment, but we would be taking those meeting times by appointment only, really just to reduce the number of traffic or students in our office, people in and out. We're going to really utilize online communication. Obviously, we want to do some things in person, face-to-face, when appropriate, and when we do that, it'll probably be in maybe smaller groups, because honestly, the connections, not only connections between students and our staff members and students and professors, but the connections that you make student to student, building friendships, building relationships through this program. That's probably one of the most important things that come from this, and what I feel like we get a lot of positive feedback from students when we survey them year to year. It's really about the connection with students and between students. And so we're going to try to meet with you and visit with you face to face as much as possible and in small groups, but we will be utilizing online communication pretty frequently. So if you haven't done so already, you probably need to train yourself to be checking your email on a daily basis. That's always an important thing that we talk to our students about. Of course, we're going to be, utilizing hand sanitizer. We'll have that readily available in our offices. We're going to strongly encourage students and staff members. Obviously, if social distancing cannot take place, we strongly encourage people to use face masks or face coverings. We're going to clean our offices at least, I think, twice a day is what's written in our plan and for the plan for the university. That includes, disinfecting things. We're going to have some plexiglass up for our administrative specialist desk, which is Chrissy Crow, which I know Chrissy, she is such a social person and loves to interact with our students and brings such a positive vibe to our office. I know she's having a hard time with that, even having that plexiglass up. So like I said, it's difficult for us to make some of these changes just because we are so student-centered. Our out-of-state domestic students and our international students, all of them will be required to quarantine for 14 days before they go to their first class. And many of them will be here. Many of our international students will be here before our Kansans even arrive. And so they'll go through that 14-day quarantine just to add a little layer of extra protection to hopefully help reduce that risk. And of course, there's going to be many more safety measures that are taking place. I just wanted to highlight a few of those that I talked about. As far as orientation and junior research seminar, we know those are going to look a little bit different this year. We're all adjusting and thinking of ways to go about orientation, junior research seminar. We've got some good ideas in place. It may include things like what I'm doing right now, pre-recorded videos, maybe some live online sessions using Zoom or Skype, maybe meeting in smaller groups and having a rotation of some sort. And so those are all things that we're looking at. A lot of the same information that we cover year to year in orientation will still be covered, but the delivery method will be a little bit different, and there's going to be more details coming out soon because we are currently kind of fine-tuning those and working on those. And then down the road, some other things that I've just been thinking about personally, trips, whether they're research trips, cultural trips, experiential trips, or activities that we typically have been able to provide students. That's going to maybe look a little bit different. And so I'm trying to think through that a little bit. Even some of our programming options that Residential Life does, that our office provides just to get students connected. We as staff members even talked about the other day, we like to have food days for our students or bring donuts for our students every now and then. And it just kind of brings a positive vibe, and gets students into our office and connected with us. And so that all is probably going to look a little bit different as well. Competitions, clubs, volunteer work. So those are just some things that I've been thinking about, but I really am hopeful that we're going to be able to provide those same experiences, those positive things that really makes KAMS unique. And so, I know it's going to be challenging to try to think of ways to modify or adapt, but I know I'm up to the challenge. I know our staff is up to the challenge. We've all been working extremely hard over the past few weeks to really try to think outside the box to help orient our students when they get here, and then provide that same great positive experience, KAMS experience. So just a few final thoughts from me. I know this video is, we're coming up to 20 minutes, so I apologize, but a few final thoughts from me. We know things are going to look different, right, compared to our normal. And we hope to get back to kind of normal compared to what we have seen in the past or done in the past. But I'm confident we can grow and we can adapt through this. One thing I do know, right? One thing that is not changing is that we as a staff are completely committed to students, and not only their health and their safety, but their happiness, their success here. We want this to be a great experience for them. Of course, it is a fluid situation. Things are going to change. We may give you some directions. We may give you some thoughts on something or some way to approach something, and it may change a day later. And so we appreciate you just being flexible and being patient with us. And we will do our best to communicate with you in a timely and efficient manner. I've mentioned this a couple times, but I can't say it enough. Please communicate with us, right? If you have questions, if you have concerns, even if you have ideas about how to maybe approach some of this, let us know, because we are always willing to listen to our students. We're always willing to listen to ideas from parents or guardians. And so let us know if you do have ideas on certain things. I can't make any guarantees, but we will listen for sure. We are, the last point here, we are just so excited to have you on campus. It was such a surreal moment this past semester when, like so many high schools and colleges around the United States, went to remote learning. It's been strange to not have as much interaction with students, and especially, most certainly, this past spring, it kind of wore me down, I know personally, a little bit, because that's what I love about my job is getting to interact with students and seeing our students succeed. So we are just so excited to have students back on campus. We can't wait to see all of you. Again, if you have questions, if you have concerns, if you have ideas, let us know. We are here to help y'all, all right? Have a good rest of your day or evening whenever you're watching this. Look forward to seeing you all in August.